In this remarkable age, AI isn't the main character. You are. While the tech is racing ahead, it's the humans who learn to harness AI mindfully that will win. Each week, we meet remarkable people doing just that. Join 𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨, tech leader and AI instigator, and Anne Murphy, fundraiser and AI consultant, as they lead the conversation about staying grounded, growing smarter, and leading with what makes us human.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, welcome. We are so happy that you're here for the AI Readiness Project podcast. Today's a little different, everybody, because Kyle's gone. Kyle is off working with companies, giving talks. He's talking about the 7 AI economies. This is one of his new ways that he's sort of rolled out how to think about AI in the future. So if you haven't yet, check out his TikTok about the 7 AI economies. It's gone viral. And so it's a neat thing to be able to pay attention to, and then come hang out with Kyle at his live, which is every weekday evening for the past million years in AI time. Our Kyle has been up there entertaining, encouraging, and educating us all, right? All comers from all of Beyonce's TikTok and YouTube and anywhere in the interwebs that you come from, you can hang out with Kyle Shannon every single night. And I highly recommend doing it. He's one of the people who I consider my most influential mentors in my own AI journey. And also, he's my friend now, which is such an honor and a pleasure. So Kyle's not here. So I'm going to chat a little bit. Then I'm going to talk about the AI salon and She Leads AI, because we must let everybody know about what we're up to and opportunities to engage, because now is the time for community. And then we have Niki Weiss, who is a digital thanatologist. I was worried I was going to put an extra syllable in there, which I'm going to guess most of our audience members have not heard that term before. And it is such an incredibly important consideration as we all proliferate our own humanity, our inner thoughts, our inner worlds are, on blast, right? They're everywhere in our hard drives. They're everywhere in the cloud. We're creating artifacts, right? Like one after the other right now. And our community, our family is going to be part of that cleanup project when we're gone. And I think that's one of the things that I really want to ask Niki about, is how can we plan ahead for that? I know the topic is much bigger than that, but I'm excited to have Niki with us today. I want to take a second and talk a little bit about the clawification of everything. And I share this from the perspective of a business owner in the middle of Claude codifying our entire business. We're a group of, it's myself. I was about to say full time, like we work all the time. It's myself, my husband, who is our our VP for strategic partnerships and does all the things, and Kate Rivera, who also does all the things. We're a small team. We are super tight knit. We do the work of 10 people, no question. And moving an entire operating system, essentially, the way that we work together over to Notion and Claude is a trippy experience. And I want to share a little bit about that. And I also want to share how that dovetails with our communities. Hold on a second. Communities of practice that we've just recently launched in She Leads AI. These are women who are working together to more deeply understand, research, analyze different case studies, research articles, etc., on in a community together on AI governance, particularly in the realm of algorithmic bias. So I think it's going to be a really interesting experience, and brings up some of the things that go on when you clawify your organization. So here's where I am in the Claude project for for our company. It started with me being like grumpy and having spite about everyone yammering about Claude Code. I felt left out, of course, because that's how our brains work, right? All of a sudden, the cool kids are using Claude Code. And of course, then there's the OpenClaw, the advent of OpenClaw, which further made it seem like we must be doing things with our computer machines where, this super brain can access every single thing that we have, and we can do it from when we're hiking, and we can do it from when we're, pushing the baby stroller and all this stuff. But of course, that was accepting this big risk of having OpenClaw under a different set of, AI laws and policies and regulations running rampant in your machine. And so a lot of people were like, no OpenClaw, right? I don't need to do OpenClaw. I'm going to do, other things that are slightly safer. So the OpenClaw FOMO passed for me. And at that same time, I felt like I was part of the wave because I was learning how to use Claude Code. And along the way, the way that I've learned how to use Claude Code is in community, having people I know who I find to like their work is super relatable. I get their use cases apply to me. So I've learned from other women watching them use Claude Code, like sitting on a Zoom screen and just watching somebody do stuff, watching them cook with their preferred AI tool. I've also gone to a few workshops. So Women Defining AI hosted a special kind of behind the scenes event with a woman from Anthropic who came in and did some demoing with Claude Code. Sorry, everybody. And then just messing around. And if you know that I do not like play or have leisure really with AI. It's not to that, I would rather be outside. So that's something that I've tested for myself. I did an experiment over the course of 30 days. What did I like better? Dinking around, making creative things, having fun with AI, or did I prefer my analog life? And what I found is that the fun with AI is just not funner than the fun that I have and the enrichment and the meaning that I have in my analog life. So it's made it easier for me to just kind of like walk away when work is done, which is a big deal for me. So what I've been able to do is use my use cases to learn Claude Code. So specific things that I am doing for my clients in She Leads AI, for our, enterprise here, because we have another company as well. And just really being driven about, I'm going to see what all I can do with Claude Code, with my limited knowledge to solve this problem. And some of you know that I only have one little tiny sticky in my life. And it is the one that says, what problem are we solving? And I ask myself this 100 times a day. Because of my ADHD, I have to be really careful about when I go down rabbit holes, because a rabbit hole could equal, staying up all night. And so I'm always asking myself, what problem are you solving? So as I've been learning Claude Code, that's been my constant question. What problem am I solving? Like, let's reel it back. What problem am I actually trying to solve? Am I just on an experiment? And am I learning anything? Am I helping Claude Code get smarter about working with my brain? And that's the approach that I've been taking, is use case based learning, experimentation, asking Claude, hey, what more could I do with you? Going over and watching a little YouTube video. It has not been an efficient time at all in my life. It has been slow, but that's like me embracing the entire learning curve and really enjoying the intellectual growth that I'm experiencing right now. It's remarkable. I swear I'm getting so much smarter every day. But that's kind of how AI has been for me. So while I've been doing the use case based work, I've also been really focused on teaching Claude Code how to work with my brain. And I learned this from Beth Lyons, who is one of the hosts on the Daily AI Show, which by the way, they've done like almost 690 episodes. If you don't tune into the Daily AI Show, I highly recommend it. It is a fabulous daily show. And I'm on Tuesdays. If you want to catch my shows, I guest host on Tuesdays. Beth taught me how to work with Claude Code to help it understand how to work with me better. And so one of the hacks that I'll share with you, it's not really a hack, but it is kind of a hack, is your closing up shop protocol. And this may work in any AI system. I don't know. I've just really been focused on it with Claude Code because we have set up our second brain. We've never worked in Notion before. And now we're moving everything over to Notion. So having Claude Code understand like the way my brain works with more of a database structure versus folders like Google Drive, that's really important to me. So at the end of every session, I have it's programmed in now to automatically go through a couple of steps. One is recapping what we did, what are still open questions, right? The other is, what is the other one? Oh, what did you learn along the way today about our projects, the things that we work together on? What did you learn about working with me? So that, every day we're getting like that 1% better and better at working together. So Claude may say, I learned that, if I write a sentence with, A, comma, B, comma, C pattern, you're going to tell me not to. So I'm going to update my skills drives, et cetera, my agents. So that'll happen. And so Claude is getting smarter about working with me. The other thing that you do, I learned from our most recent Sebastian Shadal. He's our most recent guest on the on our podcast. He taught me to ask Claude for learning orders. So at the end of your session, you ask Claude Code, what do you need from me in order to be able to get smarter about working with us, access, intelligence? Do you need even money? So at the end of it, you have that conversation. So each time, it's called compound engineering. Each time you work in Claude Code, it gets a little bit smarter. I'm just going to say a couple more things about the Claudification of our work, because I just can't wait to get Niki up here. But one of the things that I did was, I'll give you an example of how I built my chief of staff. So Sheila is my chief of staff. Sheila runs the whole enterprise. Everyone reports to Sheila. The executive leadership team is a lateral, horizontal group that works together, and each of them are agentic. So, you've got the CMO, you've got the CAIO, you've got the CFO. I know how to, the thing is, I wanted to build like some kind of an alternative organizational structure, but here's the thing. I know how to do executive leadership teams. I know how, you know what I mean? I know how to do that organizational structure. So I just thought, I'm just going to keep going with it. Yes, it made me sick during my career, but this is what I know how to do. I'm going to lean in with my AI executive leadership team. So all of my ELT is all agentic. So they work on my behalf all the time. But by the way, there's not that much work to do. Like, they are so much more talented than what they can do with with the projects I give to them. This is child's play. Then after I got so the way that Sheila got really, really smart to be able to run and organize these other really, really smart agents is that I sat down and I thought about all the chiefs of staff I've ever worked with, right? All of the very, very high level executive assistant types, the COO types, like, who are those people who I've worked with in the past and what was awesome about working with them? What did I find to be the most effective? So I made a laundry list of that. Then I found a woman on TikTok who is like the lady who does all of the training of chiefs of staff. She's got like this amazing program, pedigrees. And I learned from her content, downloaded a couple of transcripts, did some more research on Perplexity to bolster it up. And then I used the skill creator in Claude.ai. That's one of the most thorough ones I have found. I like that skill creator skill a lot. To create that skill based on the world's best chiefs of staff. And that's how I built Sheila. Then I gave her a backstory because I don't know how this stuff works, but in real life, this is a very powerful dynamic when the CEO and the chief of staff both have dirt on each other. So I built a psychosocial world as well. I don't have any idea whether that matters. None. But it was kind of fun to set up the backstory for some of my agents. Underneath the agents, there are skills. Something that I found really helpful. Skills are just like an SOP, standard operating procedure, how something gets done. All of those skills are based on like my real life, exactly what I've learned, becoming, an entrepreneur, being a leader, being on this planet for 52 years now. So they're smart. They're really good. I don't have any generic, and that's really important. So you want to build your skills. You want to build your agents like exactly how you want them. Or my opinion is, don't put them in your ecosystem until you are sure that they are good. And that goes for like most things. Don't put stuff in your ecosystem that isn't good. That's my method is, and most things that I'm bringing into Claude Code get a rating of, have I approved it? Not yet. No, it can't go in. So like if I'm bringing a document over from Google Drive to Claude Code, I give it a rating on how confident I am that this is accurate information. To get your team on board, that's my next step. And I'll have to talk about that another day because we're right in the middle of it. I know that I can put all my agents and all my skills in something called a repo. A repo like GitHub. That's a world that I was hoping, I'll be honest, to not learn anything about. So our next step is to put all of this stuff, I think, in GitHub, or maybe we put it in Notion. I know that one of our listeners will be able to tell me. And then we start setting it up for everybody else in the company. All of our contractors will build a knowledge base, kind of like an MCP, so that everything that they draw on about She Leads AI is approved, branding, everything. So that's a little bit about the Claudification of both Empowered Fundraiser Consulting and She Leads AI, and stay tuned for our adventures. I wish that I could post more about it, but I'm literally like in it every minute. I'm not sleeping or in a meeting. I'm actively doing stuff to learn about Claude. So I'm not even telling anybody about it. This is my big moment. All right. The AI Salon. I want to talk about the AI Salon really, really quickly. It is amazing. Like I said, Kyle Shannon was my gateway drug into much of the world of AI, and he is the co-founder of the AI Salon. One of the highlights is their AI Practice Lab, which is a feature of their paid membership program, which I highly recommend. This is really changing people's lives. And part of it is because it's run by Liz Miller Gershfeld, who is just an absolute gem, a star, a facilitator extraordinaire, and a beautiful artist. And she walks us through some of the existential parts of working with AI. And people are having experiences like mind-blowing. I highly recommend doing it, especially if you are ready to deepen your AI practice, as well as understand how AI plus your humanity is the big unlock. She leads AI. You guys know, if you're listening to the show, you guys know, our mission is to unite accomplished women to advance AI for global prosperity. And we understand that directly rolling up to that, like do not pass go, do not collect $500, women must accumulate wealth in order for that to happen. We know that the great transfer of wealth is coming down the pike, not soon enough. Our mission in She Leads AI is to help many, many, many more women launch their businesses into the world, into the wild, and get paid well for the work that they love to do, that they are excellent at, and that helps them build their legacy for the future. We have educational programs. We have an in-person conference. We have a membership program. It's just, I don't know, you guys, it's pretty dope. SheLeadsAI.ai. Now for Niki, okay. I'm going to have Niki introduce herself because her background is so delicious and so nuanced. And we just have to have Niki introduce herself because it's too good and define thanatology for us.
I love your energy, Anne. I can meet it. Finally, someone who meets my,
Yeah, let's go. By the way, Niki, how long does the audience have with you? Do we have 20 minutes? Do we have 30 minutes?
The conversation is endless. So
it's fair.
It is, where.
I love that you just said that. You nailed it. Let's go. Let's dig in. Talk to us first of all, tell us the beginning. What was it like? How did you end up in the field that you're in now?
Okay, so let's just land this conversation so everyone's real clear that we're all on the same page.
Yes.
Death and Dying the Digital Age. How to avoid the shit show.
Oh, how to avoid the shit show. Was anything I said about our digital lives and our families resonant?
A couple buzzwords, right? I mean, especially for women lead AI, we're all building companies, but we're building companies because of the life that we're building today to support our families, to empower our creativity, to offer our spiritual desire to make a positive impact in the world. But what we have to understand is part of living is dying. We're all going to die, whether it's ourselves or our loved ones.
Yeah.
So because death has been such a taboo topic, for whatever reason, we don't plan for it, or we haven't planned for it, or it's scary, or there's superstition, taboo. If I talk about it, it's going to happen. So as a thanatologist, so thanatology, think of psychology, sociology, anthropology. So thanatology is the study of death and dying.
Thank you. Now I get it.
I know it's a hard one, right? New word.
But why can't we just get to the ology part?
Ology, right?
Thanatology?
So, Thanos is actually the Greek god of death. Here's a little bit of historical background. So Thanos is the Greek god of death. Thanos happens to be very benign, like not good or evil. Now, Marvel Comics went ahead and created Thanos as this like monster. So there's a lot of confusion, even just branding, marketing, this whole concept of death. I mean, I'm not going to go down the religious path, but, certain religions, you go to heaven or hell, there's just a lot around it. But let me ask you this. And did you realize, it's not a question. And you and I, we're the first generation to die with more digital assets than physical ones.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Can I interject for the audience and for you a level setting thing, which is that my mom was terminally ill for over 10 years. And she was very, very young. Well, okay, she was, when she was first diagnosed, she was 50. And she was an English teacher and a writer. And she was also the OG side hustler. We had an Apple IIe in our dining room. We were like the first people because my mom did ghostwriting for people. So my mom's not only digital, but also analog treasures were extremely important to me because they were extremely important to her. I was lucky to be able to clean out my mom's closet of physical things, let alone getting to digital things. It has been all these years. I still have that stuff, like literally right here. I can't do it. So that's another piece of this and those are artifacts that I want my kids to have.
But do your kids want them?
Well, the thing is, that's a really important question, is I will do that first pass. Right. And that's why I haven't been able to do it, because the act of separating the wheat from the chaff for somebody I love, for somebody I miss, for somebody who was so prolific and such a beautiful writer and who wrote about me and who wrote about her. When in my life am I going to have the psychological space to do that? Wouldn't it have been lovely if we would have just had one nice, neat, and organized archive of my mom's beautiful writing that I could go to and say, "Here, kids, here's the external hard drive. Plug this in when you want to learn about learn about grandma."
So let's take that as a starting point, right? It is because of your deep connection to your mother. Mm-hmm. And her writing, and because of the work you're doing now, you see where that digital and physical kind of intersect. But how to organize it, especially and because death, dying, incapacitation was prevalent for you because you saw it personally with your mother. Maybe the way you're wired, you were able to lean into it. For many people, though, Anne, that's not the case. So let me just do a little bit of like, how did I become a digital thanatologist?
Yes, thank you. Yes. Yeah, I got to know.
Digital thanatology, right? So, well, word of the day, everyone's got that. So when you go play Scrabble or Wordle, like, although I think they use shorter words, but Thanos, at least, you might be able to get Thanos in there. So my parents, these are my parents back here. They both passed away by the time they were 50. Life happens. So for me growing up, death was just very much part of my upbringing. For some people, they run away from the experience. For whatever reason, I leaned into it. So the first part of my career, I actually worked as a hospice clinician, bedside, supporting families as they transition to this end stage of life. Was your mother in hospice when she?
We had a DIY hospice where she was living. But
that whole concept of, at some point,
the long goodbye, she had early onset dementia. So obviously that even factored into the digital. What?
Yeah, your family has a story.
We got a story about, right? We got a story about stuff. Afterlife, right? And by the way, in our top 3 things that my husband and I support is end of life choices. We are very passionate.
Yeah, I mean, you live in that state when we'll talk about it.
Yes.
So for me, like, it's just, I'm wired for it. Some people run away from the experience. I leaned into it. So I stayed in a hospice. It was a gift. I mean, to be able to work with families, to hear their stories, to see their, challenges, both from a, personal, closing out someone's life and well as the family's acceptance of that life being letting go. Now, this is all, I worked for hospice before the digital piece came in. About 3 years ago, my husband and I realized, we had not updated our wills since our kids were in high school. And now they're in their 30s. We're grandparents. So he and I started to update our wills. Now, understand that death is easy for me. It's an easy conversation. I'm a project manager. So I had transitioned, piece of information there. I transitioned from hospice when I turned 40 and realized I wanted to make money. and then became a project manager. And that's where I'm at right now, is working as a project manager in healthcare. So leaning into it, back to we needed to update our wills, we started to move through this process. Like, it's a second marriage. We've got adult children. Like, who gets what, makes whose decisions, when are those decisions made? And oh, by the way, I have a brother who is an estate attorney, so we got a good deal. But even for me, hospice, parents died early, project management, this conversation, organizing it was really, really challenging. So that's when I took a deep dive. And you asked the question, right? With your little, you had your sticky note. What can we solve
What
today?
problem are we solving?
So the problem we're solving today is, why is this conversation still so difficult? Why are people not planning? 70% of Americans don't have an end of life plan in place. They don't have anything, no will, no nothing of nothing. So I did my research and I'm like, okay, what's going to change the conversation? And I realized it's our phones. It's our data.
Our phones.
It is our data that's going to change this conversation, because it's easier for me to say, hey, Anne, if you die tomorrow, this is an honest question. Anne, if you died tomorrow and your phone died with you, think about multi-factor authentication. How much mayhem would there be for your loved ones you left behind?
Well, yeah. So couple of things. One is, I've been seeing a lot about deactivating the Face ID on your phone, particularly if you're in an area where there's ICE agent activity, like an airport. We are very early in our data security and privacy hygiene protocols in our company, and therefore everyone knows what my passwords are. But we also have one password.
Well, but your phone, though, if your phone died, think about multi-factor authentication.
They know my password.
Nope, phone's dead.
Oh, phone's dead forever?
You're in a plane crash. Phone died with you.
Oh, the phone's gone. Well, yeah, they would get what they can get from my thing. That's
Doesn't
it.
work that way. Do you realize the phone companies have more control over your data than the government right now?
Shush. Even after Doge and Elon Musk and his goons? Tell me more or tell me less.
So it is our data, right? Again, we're going down the rabbit hole here. So the fact that our digital afterlife can live on forever. Now I break it up into 3 different domains, right? So we can talk about, hey, today, like you said, that data hygiene, right? Can we just start organizing our passwords, logins, right? Do we have, if something happened, can we have business continuity? This is important.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's kind of what you're working on. So that's that question. If you die tomorrow and your phone died with you, multi-factor authentication.
My phone, that is the limiting factor, is my stupid.
So here, let's do a quick.
Phone company?
Do you have an iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Do you have it by you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this one exercise. It'll take a minute.
Okay.
It'll take me forever. And then your friends and family are going to do this. Go into your settings.
Okay.
Top left-hand corner, hit your face or your initials.
Okay.
See where it says sign in security?
Yeah.
Click that.
Okay.
It'll spin. Scroll to the bottom.
Spinning. Okay.
See where it says legacy contacts?
Yeah.
Oh, is there anybody's name in there?
I believe
no.
No.
Okay. Now click on legacy contacts.
Uh-huh.
And read out loud to me what it says.
Okay. Add legacy contact. Oh, it just went straight to my contacts.
Well, because you hit, go back. Don't add a legacy contact. Hit the, so it explains to you what legacy contacts is.
Oh, yes. It's okay. So real quick, add a legacy contact, share your access key, send an access key now, or print and copy and save for later. Your legacy contact will need this key and copy of your death certificate to access your account. Share your legacy with people who care about you, basically.
And the fact that you don't have your legacy contact set up, if you died tomorrow and your phone died with you, your loved ones would have to get a court order to access your data.
I'm adding my legacy contact right
before you
now.
Do that. So here's the thanatology piece come in. Here's the thanatology. Here's let's take a deep breath. before you start adding people to your legacy, which I do recommend, is to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, loved one of mine.
Yeah.
I'm working on my end of life planning. I would like to add you to my legacy contact. Is that okay? What does that mean for them? As soon as you add them, they're going to get an SMS. And if you don't explain that to them, they're going to be WTF. So, right. And legit, I've had people.
I just did it. I just said, heads up, send it just for my husband first, because he doesn't need a conversation. We talk about end of life all the time.
Okay. But this is like that digital piece. So now you added your husband. Mm-hmm. What if the two of you are in a car crash together?
Well, I was going to add my daughter and my son, and then I guess my dad.
So no judgment. I would add people who are technologically comfortable, right? So I don't know where your dad's, but there are some 80-plus-year-olds that are really good with technology.
He's really good.
But more importantly, you should be in his.
Yeah, I'm probably not. I'm sure.
Again, this is where the thanatology comes in. We just start unraveling the layers of the scenarios.
So Niki Weiss, why is this all because it's all shrouded with death and dying and our sense of mortality and our inability to do something like press 4 buttons if it has anything to do with us dying? That way we don't know about this?
Let's just take it sidestep a little bit. Do you have a will or trust?
Yes.
Is it digital or physical form?
Both.
Okay, great. Those that are named in the will and trust, do they have a copy?
No.
Do they know exist? Do they know that this document exists?
Nah, they wouldn't really. My daughter would probably call that up because her brain is like a computer, but not really.
Would she know where it is? Would she gets the call. She gets the call, and whoever your children are they're who's gonna shut down your life if something happened to you?
Yeah, I know. I don't have a good plan for it.
That's
what is there like a 3-step or something?
We have. So lo and behold, I built out a program.
Right, who does this for companies as an actual benefit to employee like wellness. Can you tell us about how that works? How commerce comes into this?
Yeah, I mean, when building out ENDevo, yes, we are helping individuals. I am passionate about helping individuals. We do have a B2C product called My Final Playbook that allows, someone like yourself to just have that roadmap, that step-by-step project management, because we educate, project manage, and empower people to build out comprehensive plans, right? Like you said, you have some of the pieces, Anne, but like if it were to happen tomorrow for your children, whoever, it would be. And here's the piece that people aren't talking about. They just lost you. Like, they just got that phone call. They're not.
Oh, I know.
Mentally, emotionally.
No way.
The amount of money that they're about to spend, right? I mean, going to a funeral home, some of them are very predatory. Making those decisions. If you haven't made those decisions yet, taxes, like where are the passwords? Like they have to be someone on hospice. Like the biggest feedback I'm getting right now from social workers is that their biggest challenge is now hospice patients are dying with passwords on their deathbeds.
Yeah. Oh, no way. Like they wrote them down?
No, they just it's like that last minute, oh my gosh, I don't know. So let's bring it upstream. This is the reality. ENDevo, we want to, again, educate, project manage, empower people to start building now while life is good. Like, and life is good. You're building a company, but this happens to be another domain that you need to be thinking about is like, okay, this business continuity, what if plan, what happens when? So it is another project. It's a project. For employers though, we want to offer this as an employee benefit, as a wellness program, basically taking like weight management, smoking cessation, just taking it, flipping it on its head and be like, hey, employer, you're already offering short and long-term disability, life insurance, and some of the like legal services. But when it comes to end of life planning, death, dying, or incapacitation, your employees are like still dancing around it. They're not sure what to do or how to do it. So let's just create a program that gives them those step-by-step checklists, accountability, educational opportunity to build out a comprehensive plan so they can have peace of mind for those they leave behind.
That's good stuff. That's quite an employee benefit.
But
Like-
death is taboo. Here's my beef. Here's my beef. We're willing to talk about infertility, like and erectile dysfunction, but really you won't talk about end of life planning?
When, as the book in behind you indicates, everyone dies. Did you write that? I'm sure you wrote that.
I did not write it.
Oh.
A lovely, well-known nurse, hospice nurse wrote it, and it's a children's book.
I love it. So brilliant. So brilliant. Yeah.
But there is an adult book out there. 𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨𝙪. He wrote.
Oh yes, I played tennis with his parents when I worked in Athens, Ohio.
Oh my God. That's
like
awesome.
Some of my favorite octogenarians ever. They were one of those like just silent but deadly tennis play. The dad, I can't remember his name, barely moved, but just absolutely crushed it on the court. It was awesome. 𝙤𝙤𝙧𝙨𝙪, I believe. He's a good one. He's a good one to pay attention to.
And again, his books all over the place, right? So Checklist Manifesto,
nice.
one of my favorite books that he wrote.
Nice. It says the checklist. What's the?
The Checklist Manifesto was probably one of the first books he wrote.
Okay, how to get things right. I love that.
So when it comes to end of life planning, it's a checklist.
Yeah.
But because it's so emotional,
Mhm.
because death is so taboo and unknown, and people are afraid to like, what happens when? Okay, now let's go down the rabbit hole just a little deeper, because this is where the AI piece comes in. Once we're gone, because of AI, because of our digital footprint, we will not own our digital afterlife.
Yeah.
That's just a fact we all need to face right now. What does that mean? Our likeness. Here's the recent news that came out. Facebook. They just announced their new patent. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No, I haven't paid attention.
Yep. So Facebook just that they have a new patent where they will be able to replicate ghost accounts and continue to build out content based on the accounts that they are by 2037. There will be more legacy accounts on Facebook than live people.
Wow.
It'll be what they call a ghost platform.
Oh God. Is that dystopian, or is that really like is that like 9 out of 10 likely to happen? What do you think?
No, I think we're there. We're already there. We're already
that's awful.
When you take 11 Labs, for example, or Nano Banana, or any of these
Sora,
Replica. All of these companies are already, the technology exists today. There's no more sci-fi.
This might be a confrontational question, so you can pass if you want to. If your deepest love in the world died right now, would you create a digital afterlife avatar or any type of AI engagement with that person after they're gone?
There is a Black Mirror episode called Be Right Back.
Be Right Back. Okay.
This was launched 13 years ago, years ago. So the scenario is, and this exists today, husband dies, wife is like devastation and grief, like just drowning in grief. Friend says, hey, just click on this app, or click on this, back then it was a platform, click on this website, and you'll be able to talk to your husband who just died. So package one was she clicks on it and she was able to create it. They aggregated all of her husband's social media, and they were able to create a chat bot. So she started literally just typing and chatting like we did way back when with her dead husband. Then they upsold her on, hey, we have a voice activation package if you'd like.
Yeah, of course.
This is Black Mirror. So she upgraded to the voice activation. And she was like, sounded like him, just like we're talking to any of the Gen AI programs we have today, March of 2026. Then they upsold her to the next package. And this is where UPS showed up with a very large box, right, in dry ice of an android, basically, humanoid. And it looked like her husband, sounded like her husband. And she basically, you know, the trials and tribulations of trying to continue to live on. Okay, so that was a television show. The reality, though,
13 years ago, you're saying?
that was 13 years ago. That exists now. The humanoid piece doesn't exist, but what does exist, and I do trainings with hospice agencies talking about bereavement and where these grief bots, they're called grief bots. Are you familiar with them? So for your
Only
listeners,
in my imagination.
Yep, we're there. So for your listeners, so a grief bot actually exists today, and I work with death tech companies right now that are building solutions. So you basically, again, you scrape for digital assets. Grandpa dies. Everyone is sharing their greatest thoughts, feelings, videos of Grandpa. 500, they're uploaded onto a platform of some sort that you don't own it. And then AI will go in and you can ask it questions and it will respond as though. Take it a step further. This is where you're at, and I will answer your question. Whole home systems. So now, just like Siri and Alexa, you have a whole home system, but instead of Siri or Alexa, you now have been able to infuse your dead relative, beloved relative's avatar into AI, into a whole home solution. So imagine that parent whose 12-year-old child just passed away from some terminal childhood disease. Hi, and you walk into, hi, mommy, daddy, how are you today? The weather outside is, I miss you. This is what I'd like, and mom, or another loved one, whatever that situation is. That technology exists today.
So from what you know from the ancestors and from modern, psychology, psychiatry, grief research, what is the impact on our grief process when we are engaging with a grief bot? And do we need to grieve?
So this is where, look, death is the most humanistic experience we will all go through. Yeah. AI can't replace that. Mm-hmm. It will try to simulate it. I know that there is technology out there where people, and they're working hard at it, how to, Neuralink, how to, Microsoft has now neural patterning. And for those that are, let's say, younger than 30 listening to this, or I remember 30 years ago when they were talking about genoming, right? To be able to take our genetics and be able to map them out. I'm like, they'd never be able to do that. Well, lo and behold, now we have CRISPR.
Yeah.
So I do believe that we're going to come to a point, and I think AI is going to get us there lightning fast, when we will be able to download consciousness, because it's just thought patterns. Patterns are just, how is our thought pattern any different than, they're just bytes of data.
Yeah. So we are LLMs. That's the other thing, right? That's the other thing to consider, is that
and I can barely get anybody to fill out their legacy contacts on their iPhone, much less go down this rabbit hole. I mean, this rabbit hole is like questioning that human existence. Like, who are we as humans?
Who are we as humans? Are we fleas on the dog of life? Are we specks on a rock hurling through the, stratosphere? What is the meaning of life? Are we, as my friend and my 27-year-old mentor, Josh Houston, will aptly remind me, all we do is create files. At the end of the day, all of our jobs are to create files and files. If that's all we are, if we are human doings, not human beings, if even being a human being is an insignificant puff, doesn't even matter, this whole AI thing becomes really, really weird. And you start wondering, and this is maybe a glimpse into what it's like when you live with AI 24/7, is I think I was ahead of the curve wondering, trying to figure out fact from fiction, because there's so much fake, so much artificial, so much just slop and crap and weirdness and everything all baked into the AI. I don't know, I think you start to have a hard time knowing what's real and what's not. And that is what will devastate our society. That's what I think.
Our meaning of humanity.
Our meaning of humanity.
So like I said, I can stay high and just be like, hey, do you have a will or trust? Do you have power of attorney, medical advance directive?
Yeah.
Like we can stay up here in the administrative piece, which
Yeah.
needs to happen, because
Yep.
we're spiritual beings living in a material world. And if you're asking me back to what do I want it done with my digital afterlife, I mean, I would want that option. Okay, my podcast, this conversation, this is now becoming a digital asset, right?
Yes.
So I've made the choice to live on at some level, even if I'm not here tomorrow. Will my family be able to control it, own it, profit from it? Probably not.
Yeah.
The way that things are being set up right now.
Yeah.
I mean, from here, it's like, where do we go? But I do believe that the easy thing to do right now, right? Low hanging fruit is, hey, let's act human. If you die tomorrow, there are things you can do to make sure that you're leaving behind not a mess for your loved ones.
Right.
We just start there.
Right. Boy, some really low-hanging fruit for our elders would be, if you have gone through the trouble of giving someone your Bitcoin password and they have saved it somewhere and put it in a safe and put it on a thing, you are more than qualified. This is your moment. Start talking to your kids, your family, start filling out your thing, because if you can do a Bitcoin password, you can do your regular passwords for your Google Workplace.
And I just want to throw it out there. I mean, death isn't discriminate, Anne. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care what your socioeconomic, your health status is. I share openly that, my son-in-law is 34 years old and he has terminal diagnosis of a brain cancer. So we're going through it even with my family right now. But it really, it doesn't, and when we talk about death, we're talking about three different scenarios. You die unexpectedly, that's one, or you get that terminal diagnosis, like my son-in-law, or you need a long-term care plan, right? Because all of those are going to require a plan for your legal, financial, physical, and digital aspect of the life that you've built today.
Niki, we literally could talk forever.
I told you.
And I, in my mind, have been coming up with some ideas on how we can bring your wisdom to more women and also get people to start filling out doing the iPhone thing. And
I don't play book.
I've got some ideas and some opportunities there. So for our audience, have no fear. We will bring more Niki Weiss to you if our life depends on it, which, our life and our death primarily.
Live fully, die ready.
Live fully, die ready. Yes. But let me ask before, as we close, what is your definition of AI readiness?
My definition of AI readiness is a willingness to straddle both worlds, right? We're material beings and living in a spiritual world. And I think AI is going to be the bridge between the two.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So folks, if you're sitting on the sidelines and if this conversation didn't inspire you to at least dabble in AI, then I don't really actually know what would. This is pretty much the end all be all. If you're not in the game, if you're not in the arena, it's really, really time. It's really, really time. This is your civic responsibility. I hate to be all high and mighty about it, but being involved,
I say it's the next level of adulting. Like this is your next level of adulting.
Yes. So, Goodness gracious. Thank you, Niki. If people want to get a hold of you, which I sure hope they do, how do they reach you? What's the best way? What's cracking? What can people get involved with that you're up to?
Well, I'm easy to find on LinkedIn. That's probably the best place to find me. I'm on all the social medias, X, Facebook, TikTok. We're all over the place. So my final playbook, if you look up Digital Thanatologist, word of the day, Thanatology, you will find me. And Niki Weiss is easy to find. 1K, 2 S's, all good. And this was an awesome conversation, which I knew
this was fantastic. If you can hang out for one more second,
Sure.
I get a little to the audience members to give you FOMO. I get to usually spend a couple of extra minutes with the guests afterward. That's the best case for having a podcast. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. I hope you walk away with a little bit of an action plan. This was a really, really practical episode. And we'll see you on the next one, which is next week on Wednesday around this time. Thank you so much, everybody.